Alright, guys, coming at you with another episode of Kaleidoscope Guys podcast.
A spicy one today.
It's mellow, spicy one today.
Mildly spicy.
We've been super creative, and today I'm just gonna interview Brian, just like he interviewed me last week, so the tables have turned a little bit.
Yeah, if you recall last week's episode, Liam said his dream job is to be a late night talk show host, so he's actually getting to live his dream right now. Not quite in the Rainbow Room, but it's pretty cool. It's our living room.
I feel like this is my first step to being the next half-Asian Conan, and that's what I strive to be one day.
Nice.
Totally don't use the engineering degree.
So
That's the dream.
Let's see what you got.
So we're going to do it similar to how we did it last week. So some easy ones to start off, then we'll progressively get into some spicier topics. So
The brass tacks.
The brass tacks. So my first question is, what is currently on your upper lip?
Oh! That's funny. That's an improv one, I can tell, because I just shaved, I shaved just my beard for this to give him, maybe loosen Liam up a bit. You know, so I'm rocking just a mustache right now. It probably won't make it out of the doors. Maybe I'll wear a mustache tomorrow. That'd be pretty funny for a day. Right?
For a week, please.
I'll do it maybe for a weekend. I'll consider it. It's funny.
It is funny.
Sure.
Great conversation starter too.
Yeah. Nice mustache.
Imagine you got pulled up on stage somewhere and the guy said, "Dude, I saw your mustache. Had to bring it up here." I would like that.
So that's what's on my upper lip.
All right. Kind of a little strange one, but what's your favorite land creature?
Land creature?
Land creature.
Like an animal, or?
An animal.
Oh, but outside the realm of just Kingdom Anomalia?
No, let's keep it in there.
Oh, shit. Like, no centaur? Centaur is not an option?
Let's make it real. Although I do appreciate the good centaur every now and then.
Dog is definitely where my mind goes, but that's not really fun to hear. But everyone loves dogs. I'm a big fan of bears. I really like how bears live their lives because mainly the hibernation thing. Mm-hmm. They just stock up and then find a cave and just chill out for the winter. I think that's pretty cool.
Along those lines, though, couldn't you say you're a big squirrel guy?
It's very different. Bears are big. They're not rodents, for one. They are family Ursus. And they catch salmon with their mouth.
I would totally be a bear just for that aspect.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. Fresh, free salmon. Doesn't get much fresher than that, actually.
Okay. Next question. You a TLC or an Oxygen guy?
TLC for sure. I can't name any Oxygen programming off the top of my head. TLC, I'm not a huge fan either. I don't think they have the weirdest reality shows. You know, when you think about reality, it's like MTV has Jersey Shore, and you know, you put a lot of people, like interesting characters in a house and watch it unfold. These reality shows they find the weird people and like just document their weirdness. Like My Strange Addiction and like Monsters Inside Me, I think is one of them, right?
Is that TLC? I think
that's
that's something else.
You'd be surprised.
I thought like
Hoarders.
Yeah, okay.
You'd be surprised,
Hoarders is a big one.
Like what is on
Dance
TLC
Moms, that's a TLC show,
Dance
right?
Dance Moms, yeah. What else? John and Kate plus 8. I think that kind of put
that
them
used to
on
be
the
a
map.
thing. That used to be a thing.
Yeah.
Wait, so I feel like TLC has like appeal to a certain audience. Like MTV, okay, we got the young people. TLC is like, okay, is our demographic 20 to 40? White people? I don't really know.
That's really weird. That's such a good question. I feel like it's like 35 to like 55. You know, with some boundary there, and of course there's
a lot of wiggle room on that
people,
one.
Yeah, but then also you get some like teenagers who are like, yeah, I watched Hoarders or My Strange Addiction. You should have seen this bitch eating a couch. Like the YouTube clips are better than the networking. I would say.
Yeah, I've definitely found some YouTube clips of TLC shows. I've never sat down and watched the whole TLC show. I'd rather
ultimately,
do something else.
Yeah, I'd say it's a very gimmicky network. Is that fair?
I definitely say so, especially since they just got a new show. I'm pretty sure they put Dr. Pimple Popper on TLC.
Yeah, that's
but that got
one.
its start on
That's
Snapchat, wasn't it? That's where it first came
I
from.
think YouTube then, they
Oh,
had
really?
a show on Snapchat.
Let's branch out a little bit, try and extend to other media, other platforms.
Hey,
If it's
who's
working,
to
it's
say?
working.
Who's to say?
Who are we to judge?
TV, it used to be, wow, you have a TV show. Now it could be argued, holy shit, you have a Snapchat show, you're on Netflix, you're a major YouTube hit. That can carry more weight than TV sometimes. Like Ninja, for example, on Twitch, the Fortnite guy, he's way more famous than plenty of TV stars.
How do you feel about that person? Because personally, I'm the guy who's like a YouTube, like, oh, go ahead, do what you want to do. But what's like, I asked this because I saw an ESPN article saying, is Ninja the most influential athlete of 2018? I personally don't agree with that.
He's not an athlete. He's playing video games.
Dude, e-games are huge now.
Yeah, but he's not an athlete. But anyway, in terms of that, television is always probably going to be higher quality. Mm-hmm. In my standards, everyone has a different definition of quality, but it's because, there are writers for television who go to school for writing. It's like anybody can strum a guitar, but not everybody. It takes practice and study to make music, make good sounding music. It's like the same thing. And the actors as well are very talented and they're there for a reason. Whereas YouTube, I mean, we have a fucking podcast, for example.
Yeah, and
just because we want to.
And there's much no rules we can put on YouTube, so you can kind of go live outside the boundaries and do whatever you want. You don't really have like these walls you're kind of branched in by what Netflix wants.
That's cool.
That is cool. You can do whatever you want with it. But at the same time, it's like also you can make something incredibly stupid and put it on YouTube for thousands and millions of people to see.
Yeah. There's plenty of stuff like that on television, though.
Oh, if you look hard enough, you'll definitely find it. All right, let's keep this ball rolling a little bit.
Let's keep this ball rolling.
A really fun game. Perfect girl in every way, except every time she takes a step, she farts.
What about
you staying or going?
Every time she takes a step?
Every time she takes a step.
Oh,
it could be walking down the aisle at your wedding.
I'm thinking about how I would work around this, and my mind immediately goes to rollerblades. So she's not stepping; she's just blading. That would be pretty cool, right?
That would be pretty cool.
So now she's perfect.
What if she's a klutz?
And on blades. Oh, true. She was perfect other than that.
Yeah.
Well, now do the farts stink? Or is it just like anybody else? Like, it depends on the diet. Like, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Let's put it this way. They're incredibly loud, and they smell up a whole room.
I'd probably leave her. That's a great question. That was good.
Yeah, my ex-wife was like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of over the whole dating thing right now anyway, so I'd rather... There's no appeal to that.
If it's any consolation, I'd totally date you.
Oh, Liam.
I said that to everybody.
I know, I'm so cute. It's funny.
Okay. Now we're going to try to get a little more serious. I'm going to pull some background for you a little bit.
Okay.
So, you've mentioned a bunch of times that you're an engineering student, like a bioenvironmental engineering student, particularly. And this question is basically saying, to all the naysayers out there that say global warming doesn't exist, how would you convince them that how would you change their minds?
Well, I guess first through scientific data. That's like literally the most concrete thing. Mm-hmm. I haven't looked that deep into it because I haven't felt the need to say like, oh, well, this is controversial to me, so let me do my research. I just believe that, if someone says the data's been presented, that's fine. I don't need to fight it. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I've actually had this debate with people. I would say, okay, regardless of temperature, global warming, whatever, you don't even have to worry about the ice caps. There's no debating that our carbon dioxide and methane emissions are skyrocketed compared to any other time in history, at least human-produced. Because there have been times in Earth's history when like methane was going crazy and there was like tons of CO2 in the atmosphere, but it was there was different life forms and stuff. It was almost all micro organisms at the time. But global warming is like a term that is now controversial. It's like a buzz term,
Yeah, but, climate change this, climate change that.
But don't even make it about that. Make it about, okay, who cares where you stand on, because that's all political. It's so politically charged. It's there's no denying that we are we have irresponsible environmental practices,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where we should be focused. And I guess it ties in with the global warming concept and everything, but to me, that's not even what it's about. It's about fixing our practices.
So do you think it's more of a fact that it's not even based on science anymore? It's kind of like, oh, I have these ideas because I learned this side of the aisle. And it's like, oh, I agree with 90% of this, then I have to agree with that. I'm not even looking at data anymore. And it's kind of just, I fall into a certain bracket and I have to agree with what they say.
Especially in terms of politicians.
Yeah.
Regular people, I think, kind of, in any case, will believe what they want to believe for whatever reasons. It goes both ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. And kind of sticking with like the educational side of things, you're a firm believer in that you shouldn't let education get in the way of someone's learning. You like to tell me that.
No, it's the other way around.
I'm sorry, what is it then?
It's a Mark Twain quote. Don't let your schooling get in the way of your education.
Okay.
Yes.
And why do you tell me that a lot, and why do you believe that so hard?
There's so much to learn outside of the classroom. And I'll tell you what, there's a whole world out there, and we live in this world. This is our reality. So don't you think it's good to get an understanding of the reality you live in so many different terms, whether it's, I mean, I love our education because it's so adaptive to that. We learn about our world and how to influence it. But just because you're, let's say, a finance major, doesn't mean you can't read a book or read a poetry book, And I think everything you do, or going outside for an hour, or going on a hike or whatever, it influences you to be a different person. So your education, everything's an educational experience if you let it be, and you can find that value in whatever you're doing. And school could very well be a big part of it, but it doesn't have to be all of it.
So it sounds, what I'm taking away from that is that you're kind of saying that everyone should be well-rounded for the most part. It sounds like
you don't have to be, but you absolutely could be, if you break down your boundaries and use everything as a learning experience.
So what I originally thought you meant by that was saying, when you're sitting in a classroom, don't let how you do in school define you. That's how I thought you always were talking about it. Okay, because that's different now, because I always thought it's like, okay, don't focus so much on grades because there's so much more to do than that. I remember you gave me the examples before saying, I might not like this class a whole lot, might not do great in this class, but I know I can go out and I can succeed in this field because I'm this capable of, I'm confident enough to do that. And just because I don't do great, I'll knock out the classroom.
It's kind of like, for a really broad example, is like class versus internship. You do your schooling, and how many times have you heard it like, yeah, we haven't really used that course from professional engineers? You're like, yeah, we haven't really used much of that. Or I know you used to always ask, what that you learned in engineering school do you use at your job?
Always ask that.
So like doing hands-on things is very, very useful. But it goes outside of whatever field you're in. Like watching a Bob Ross video, you learn that this person has this insane talent. I think that's pretty cool.
So would you agree that in school you're taught how to learn, and then you need to translate that to the working world?
Yeah, definitely, especially in our field. I guess other fields, I would say so. Even like English, if you're an English student and you want to be a professor or whatever English people do, you learn how to analyze, you learn how to take certain things from a piece of writing or literature, and that's what you do with your life.
Okay, so let's put it this way then. Let's say you're going to school, let's say you're trying to get an art degree. There's only so much you can learn in school to a point. It's like, okay,
that's a tough one.
You've gone to school for, I don't know, 12 years, 15, 16 years, and you just don't have it, but you want to have it so bad.
That exactly proves my point, where you're not going to get it in a classroom. You're not going to get it in a classroom.
Yeah.
You got to go out to a prairie and overlook something and paint that. That will be your it, or whatever you got to do. You got to do your drugs and get inspired by that.
You telling our viewers to do drugs right now?
No, I'm telling artists who suck at their job. I'm saying it's good inspiration source.
This just in, Brian Crayon approves drug use.
I approve freedom to do whatever you want. Not whatever, but...
RT.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means anymore?
Retweet, baby. Yeah.
No Twitter still knows what RT means. It's a good
I'm
age to live
well-rounded.
in. Okay. And kind of like, we probably ended on this one, but this is a very open-ended question. Well, not open-ended, but let's see. So, people go through tons and tons of changes in their life. You have a mustache now. That's a huge change. What would you say to yourself as a 10-year-old versus a 40-year-old? Just throughout the spectrum of how things change over your life. Let's see it this way. What would you tell yourself at 10 to get, so you can put yourself in a better situation? What would you tell yourself at 40? Maybe you're stressed out over something.
Or where do I hope to be at 40, maybe?
Maybe not even that. Maybe it's just, what would you say to a 40-year-old you? Don't forget about this. Don't forget about that. Keep this in mind.
That's a really good question. Nice job. What would I tell 10-year-old me? I would tell 10-year-old me, I'll be honest, I've had a great upbringing. I've loved my life. So I would tell 10-year-old
nice.
me, I would tell 10-year-old me, just like, keep on smiling, like, don't take yourself too seriously, because that's pretty much what I've done. Turned out well. And 40, I can definitely tell, I would tell, so when from 10 years old to 20 years old already, I can see, like, there are definitely different stresses, obviously, and I can see it getting, like, exponentially more and more to deal with in terms of life and its burdens. Getting a job, paying for shit, wanting to do stuff but maybe having to sacrifice all that, blah blah blah. I'm getting to the point where I, like, pay for almost everything on my own, except, like, some big stuff, that I'll need help with. But, like, it's weird, and it sunk in on me. I think it was, like, 2 weeks ago. I was walking to class, and I was like, that is so weird that you go from being brought up your whole life where, your parents take care of you. Your parents 100% take care of you financially. They buy your food, they buy your clothes, all that shit. But now it's like, I'm never comfortable asking for money, really, even from my parents, really. But at a weird point.
It's kind of like the training wheels come off very suddenly.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like a plateau. But then I can only imagine if, like, I happen to have children or, who knows where I'll be living, if I'm living near my family. I'll have a different support system, Not entirely, but it'll be weird. So I guess I'd tell 40-year-old me, don't forget to take a damn chill pill. Like, remember to have some time for yourself and go outside every now and then. Don't let work swallow you up. That's one of my worst, I wouldn't say fears, but I just really don't want to end up as, like, a guy who works 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year, and just kind of burns out and never, I don't think that'll be me, but just gets swallowed by it, lets himself go.
I think that's, like, a very common theme.
Yeah.
Definitely amongst A, kids our age, and B, kids who do similar work to us, because it's so easy to get wrapped up in all the schoolwork you're doing, very easy to get burnt out. And I had a very similar conversation with our friend Randy last year, because he's the type of guy who just basically lives, like, every single day like it's I want to say like a jungle gym, but he has fun every single day. And he has, like, all these high aspirations. And I was sitting there thinking, damn, I just want to make a lot of money. And I'll probably be mad and crotchety, but
there's such
also
a
have
balance.
a lot of money.
There
really is. That's why work-life balance is such a buzz term going around nowadays.
Yeah.
Kids looking for jobs.
Yeah, I definitely
those damn millennials.
It's gonna be very weird at some point when other people depend on me a lot more than right now, because right now I'm a 20-year-old kid, single.
We can change. We can change that.
But, like, what I want to do with my money, I can do with it without, I'm not gonna be stupid. I'm gonna act with good judgment, but I have freedom in that sense, to do what I want with what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be a point in our lives when, like, we have to really consider other people, and suddenly it's gonna be other people are restricting our freedom, and that'll be a rocky road, I'm sure. But that's what your 30s are for, I guess.
Midlife crisis, grow a full mustache, get a hog, leather jacket, that whole thing.
Maybe I'll rock a mustache. I'm feeling pretty good in it.
I know you've been saying you want to connect. Maybe grow the mustache out longer Let the beard come in, and the overflowing mustache might flow right into the beard.
Sick. Or mutton chops.
Don't be mutton chops. We already have a mutton chops kid, and he goes clubbing too often.
We already have a mutton chops guy.
All right, dude.
All right, thank you. Those were awesome questions.
Are there any closing comments you want to have?
Closing comments for our listeners. Thank you guys for listening. If you made it to this point, we really enjoyed doing this. Honestly,
yeah.
It's a nice way to spend a half hour once a week.
Not super creative, but it does take up some time, and it's fun.
But the questions were really creative. I'll tell you that.
Actually, I want to go through the questions I didn't ask.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. One of them I didn't ask was, are you a rump or a torso man?
Oh.
In
terms of my ladies?
In terms of the ladies.
Rump man.
Rumpman. I was going to follow up the favorite land creature, immediately with the favorite sea creature, but...
Oh, you should have done that! Wait, I gotta go... I'm answering these, bro. Manatee.
Manatee?
Not necessary.
Dude, the original mermaids.
Yeah. Sea cow.
Sea cow. Your favorite memory, including a mascot.
Huh. Nice. I have a good one. I ran the bases when I was 5 years old at the Newark Bears.
Oh,
Riverfront
nice.
Stadium.
I played there when I was a kid. I played there.
Nice.
I've got worst nightmare on here. I don't know. I must have been fishing last night.
Oh, shit. I don't remember the worst nightmare. I don't concern myself with nightmares.
All right. Something inconsequential that makes you angry. I wrote that last night after watching the McMansion video.
So, that makes me angry. I can't really think of something off the spot, but one of my major pet peeves
that's a good one.
is the direction of the toilet paper. I always need it to flow over.
God.
And whenever I'm at anybody's house, this is funny. If it's under, I'll switch it. No matter whose house I'm at. I could be at the White House, I'd switch it.
I was just going to say
it's really funny.
I was just about to say you're at the White House, you're switching it?
Yep.
On Trump's
I do it at my aunt's
golden
house
toilet
all the
bowl.
time, like my cousins, all those. Yeah, I always switch it.
What if you go to a girl's house and
I'd switch it.
And her father walks in on you switching and goes, "Son, put it back."
Why would he walk?
Because he has a sixth sense when someone's flipping his toilet paper.
I'd be like, "Sorry, man, it's my thing." Maybe he.
My bad.
But then he'd be like, "I respect that, son," and then I'd say, "I respect you having the sense to
let me flip
do
your
that.
toilet
I
paper."
respect you as an underman. I respect the tenacity." So, yeah.
I respect your tenacity for that. And last one, a really stupid one. I really shouldn't have even written this down.
Whatever.
What is the cause you think everyone should be invested in? I.e., cancer research, world hunger, or the homeless problem?
Oh, that's not a bad question. How about this? It's not a cause like that, like those couple examples. A cause I believe in is taking a damn chill pill in terms of when you watch CNN or Fox News, all the division. I think that's a cause everybody should get behind. People need to take a step back in terms of the government and all their doings and everything, because the government's not your friend.
Dude,
that's how I feel.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was watching the Attorney General hearing this morning, and they were getting so heated to the point where I was like, honestly,
they can do whatever
relax.
they want. It's when people in the real world are... I understand what happens on those cameras and everything has an effect. In my life, it does not have an immediate effect that I tangibly see. Of
the
course,
middle class never really feel an effect from this kind of stuff.
That's true. But nothing's going to get anywhere if it's automatic, if it's automatically fuck you, you this person.
A constant shouting match never solves anything.
Kavanaugh did. I don't follow any of that stuff, but, the Facebook posts and everything, that's a cause I can get behind. Everybody should be invested in that cause. It would go such a long way.
I thought we were going to talk about cancer research, but I'm really glad it went to Facebook politics.
Hey, I can't answer with an IE example.
I wasn't going to say that.
I learned what IE means recently. It is. It's Latin.
Of course it is.
For, I don't know what, and also or something.
I don't know any Latin, but I know when to end a podcast. I think that might be it. Let's hear some Pig Latin. How do you say cold beer in Pig Latin?
Old K Ear Bay.
That's how it goes.
Hell yeah. But I know how to end a podcast. That's good. All All right, let's wrap it on up. Thank you for
we're gonna
interviewing me.
close this one out here.
Readers,
Thanks for being a guest.
listeners, thank you. We love you.